Once you have finished doing the layout, now remember a couple of the key things that I'm going to be looking for on this are making sure that your text columns do not stop midway through. So like your text, your body copy that's right here, I want to make sure that this snaps all the way to the line that's here for your columns. So when you get close, it should snap. I want to also make sure that your text or your picture frames are also snapping to that edge. So make sure that you have all of that stuff set up properly. Then once you have this set, what you're going to do is this. We're going to go ahead and add a couple pages to this. So I'm going to go to the pages palette. If your panel is not showing, go ahead and go to window, pull down to pages. What we're going to do is I'm going to click on page 4 and I'm going to add a couple more spreads. Now to fix this, notice how they're separated. What we're going to do is this. I'm going to select page 5. I'm going to hold down my shift key and I'm going to click down here on page 8. Then I'm going to right click right in here in the blue area and I'm going to turn off allow sections to shuffle and just double check and make sure that both allow document pages to shuffle and allow selected spreads to shuffle, that there's no checkbox next to those. Cool. Once you have that, what you're going to do is this. You're going to take this page right here, page 5, and you're going to hold your mouse button down and drag it. See that little right there? See that little white line pops up? That's going to connect it to this spread. So right when it's connected, go ahead and let go. So you should now have 4 separate spreads. What we're going to do is this. I want to make sure that you're first not in preview mode. Remember, preview is when you see what it's going to look like when it's actually printed or exported. Normal mode is where you see all of the grid lines and you see the X here and you see the columns. Those are all non-printing items, and those are what I want to actually see. So the way that I was able to expose these was using the W key. The W key, if you notice right here, will switch back and forth between normal and preview. You just need to make sure that you're not inside of a box, because if you a text frame, because if you hit W, it throws a W inside of that box, which will mess stuff up. So you don't want that. So click away from everything. So hit W until you see your preview mode. And then what you're going to do with this is you're going to go ahead and zoom in on this first one. If you hit the tab key, it will hide all of your panels and your tools. So zoom out so you can see the entire piece and then press Command Shift 4. We're going to take a screenshot of this page with your columns. Then I'm going to go ahead and move down to this second spread, Command Shift 4. I'm going to select that one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste those screenshots right onto these last 2 spreads. So we're going to come up here to File and Place. And I'm going to go to my first screenshot. And I'm going to, inside of this box, it doesn't have to be centered exactly, but I'm going to, right up here where the column is starting, that little margin guideline, I'm going to drag and drop that one in there. And I'm going to press Command D as in dog. Don't know why they use D for place, but that goes here. I'm going to choose the second one, and I am going to put that one in there. I'm just going to nudge it up a little bit so it's kind of in the middle. Now, the reason for this is I want to be able to see your finished product, but I also want to see the behind the scenes. I want to see, did you line everything up? Do you have the text set up correctly? Do you have the folio in this area? Do you have the picture frames snapped correctly? So that's what I'm going to be looking for. So by doing this, it's going to allow me to see your finished product and the behind the scenes all in a single document. Now, from this point, you're just going to go to File and Export. Make sure you do this properly or it will mess things up. So after you have this set, you're going to choose Adobe PDF Interactive. And this last part right here is the most important. By default, you probably have it on Pages. Change this to Spreads. Make sure you change that to Spreads, because in the next project, if you don't do that, I'm going to take 30% off. So I want to make sure you do that. You'll hit Export. And then here is the finished grid mockup that you did. And then here is the behind the scenes for me to be able to see what your actual guidelines and columns look like. This is the file that you'll submit. And as always, if you have questions, just let me know.